Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Vortex, where lies and falsehoods are trapped and exposed. I'm Michael Voris. Please forgive me if I seem a little off my game today. I got a call last night from an old friend who I went to Notre Dame with, a classmate, good buddy. We were on the phone until after 3 o'clock this morning. The subject, for the most part, was his concern that his 2 teenage sons, having gone through Catholic schools, didn't believe in the resurrection. He was asking me how to explain this to them and show them the reality. Well, one thing led to another, as it always does when talking about the faith and the interconnectedness of Catholic dogmas, when we got to the subject of our Blessed Mother. He said to me point blank that the Church made up that, fill in the expletive, about the Assumption. I was making a point relating the resurrection to the Assumption. I was a little shocked at his lack of acceptance, not to mention his choice of words. As the discussion went on, I found out he also rejects the dogma of the Immaculate Conception, that Mary was conceived without original sin. Why? Because he also rejects the dogmatic teaching on original sin. Of course, all this rejection also means he totally dismisses the dogma of papal infallibility. I finally said to him, Bob, not his real name, Bob, it's a little hypocritical of you to call me all concerned about your boys rejecting the resurrection when you reject the Assumption, the Immaculate Conception, original sin, and papal infallibility. It's not only hypocritical, it's also intellectually dishonest. You expect your sons to accept a dogma given by the same source from which you personally reject 4 and probably a lot more. Such is the sad, sorry state of affairs in the Church today, and it is a typical example of how the faith unravels. The teachings of the Church are so connected, so intimate to each other, that to reject one ultimately leads to a rejection of most, if not all. It's exactly what we've been saying on The Vortex now for nearly 2 years. You're either Catholic or you're not. Now, I suppose some of our Protestant-minded Catholic leaders would have approached this case in an entirely different way. They might have said, we need to be more charitable and sweet and saccharine-filled. Well, it's exactly that approach that has stopped his children from going to Mass and dropped him to the level of a heretic. He's no dummy. He went to Notre Dame with me. He's an accomplished, well-respected, internationally published physician and researcher who holds fellowships at Ivy League schools, and he utterly rejects the faith. Yet, he still walks around believing himself to be a Catholic in good standing. You want to know why I get so angry at the garbage going on in the Church, the horrible teaching, the acceptance of depravity in the place of morality, the glossing over of serious sin as though it's just some bad habit, the absolute abdication of practically every bishop from his office as teacher? This is why. Because their miserable leadership has real consequences. My buddy from Notre Dame, and now his kids, are no longer practicing Catholics, not in any meaningful sense of the word. Their souls are in jeopardy of eternal ruin, and I'm the guy on the phone with him until 3 o'clock in the morning. Where's his parish priest? Where's the Catholic school principal in charge of his kids' education? Where is his bishop exercising his office as teacher? When bishops think their role is to make appeals for money and keep their mouths shut in the face of heresy, even when it is right in front of their face at a Mass, they've gone off the beam. The sheep have been left to the wolves, and if the bishops think because they wear robes and sit in fancy offices that they somehow will escape the fate of those they've allowed to dangle over hell, then perhaps they need to be on a 3-hour call starting at midnight and realize the extent of their betrayal. You begin to wonder, seriously wonder, do most of the bishops actually believe these teachings anymore? Do they still love the faith? I'm Michael Voris.
Please help us keep delivering these kinds of messages that so desperately need to be heard and acted on. Join RealCatholicTV.com today as a premium subscriber. Become immersed in the faith established by Jesus Christ. The Catholic Church is the only hope against evil because that is its God-given mission. As our Lord said, apart from me, you can do nothing. Join RealCatholicTV.com today as a premium subscriber and come to learn and love Christ more deeply.